Hey everybody, it's Jay Kitchen from jaysbeard.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We are doing a review today of something called Montecristo from the company known as Masque Milano. Check out the bottle. If you would be kind enough to subscribe and smash that thumbs up button before we get too deep into the review, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. This is a woody aromatic fragrance, typically for men. I mean, women can wear it, but I think it's aimed at men. It was launched in 2013. The nose behind the fragrance is Delphine Thierry. The top notes are Ambrette, also known as Musk, Mallow, rum, and Cabreuva. The middle notes are tobacco, labdanum, benzoin, and celery seeds. The base notes are Hyrax, Styrax, Guaiac Wood, Patchouli, and Cedar. From the website description, every single element of the interior contributes to the warmth and reassuring comfort. The floor of old, robust wood planks, aged and worn with use. In the massive fireplace, coals are still burning. The comfortable couch is made of the best leather. Once stout and rigid and spotlessly tanned is now soft and worn, and the color is fading away. A deck of used playing cards abandoned on the coffee table, the tobacco leaves of the hand-rolled cigar, a glass of rum. You know, it's a little bit sort of non sequitur-ish, right? I mean, they talk about a lot of stuff that's supposed to conjure up a lot of ideas, or I don't know if they're memories, but ideas about what things might smell like. No. Again, on the website, what they have under the listing for the Montecristo: in the living room of an old villa in the Tuscan countryside, it is the close of day. Act 1, Scene 2. Montecristo is Dumas' count, but is also a tiny island in the Tuscan archipelago, the smaller sister of the famous Elba, famous for being a natural reserve and for hosting several ruins, including the bewitching fortress of Montecristo. We were thinking about an old mansion and the smell of thick walls, along with the cozy and unpretentious at once. Montecristo was the second fragrance launched in the Opera collection, created by Delphine Thierry, who was also the nose behind the creation of Terra Alba. It is the only case in our, meaning the company's, scented opera collection in which a nose was appointed with the creation of two fragrances. With Delphine, we played a game of opposites. The energizing and invigorating atmosphere of a Mediterranean seaside sunrise and the intimate, eventide ambiance of an old mansion in the Tuscan countryside. So this has got a very strong, funky aroma. A lot of people say it smells like urine, or urine adjacent, or maybe even feces. I get why people may sense it smells like urine. It's got a very sharp, sort of almost smoky funk to it. But it seems to be balanced out by the tobacco. And the reason I picked up this decant, because Montecristo is not only a famous literary character in the Alexander Dumas book, The Count of Monte Cristo, but it's also a really famous and super popular Cuban cigar. I mean, the Montecristo No. 4 is one of the most popular cigars in the world ever. And it's a great smoke. To continue with the website commentary, in perfume reviews, Montecristo is praised for many reasons. The expertly rendered textures of the perfume, the conjuring of well-trodden wood and leather, the tawny swirl of rum in a crystal glass, the chocolatey patchouli, and of course, the scent of tobacco. Delphine has used a good dose of Ambrette seed. You can really smell it, powdered, earthen, and musky in the opening stages under the haze of sweet, dry smoke. Ambrette is a beautiful perfume note. It has clarity and cleanliness, often adding a gentle underscore of nuts and cold wax on white lily buds. Interestingly, in Montecristo, it brings light and peace. This is where we get to the good part. It is Hyraceum that really sets fire to Montecristo's boozy bonfire of tobacco, woods, and balms. It is a rare, sustainable source of potent animalic musk that comes from the weird little rock hopping rock Hyrax. Now what they're talking about is Hyrax poop. They also call this African stone, and it's got some other descriptors, but it is the dried and hardened waste matter of the Hyrax, which looks like a little rodent kind of critter. Blending this feral note with rum, ambrette, and Styrax is normally asking for trouble, but in the hands of a talented perfumer like Delphine, the result is one of refined, sensual assault. For a while, big businessman-style cigar odors set a brash mood in perfumery, but Montecristo could not be more different. Sure, tobacco smolders and you can almost hear the sound of whiskey vapors escaping old bottles, yet the mood is one of smooth privacy, appreciation of flavor, ambiance, and effect. It's got a real funk. I mean, I don't necessarily dislike it, but this is a very specific kind of a scent, and it can be, if you overdo this, you're going to chase people away. I compared this to something I've reviewed recently, the Habanos by Crown Royal. The Habanos is a much more really tobacco-centric kind of a scent. This, the tobacco is there. There are some similarities between the two fragrances, but this has got a much more earthy, funky, I guess, animalic scent to it. It's really very, I mean, semi-body odorish, but not necessarily in a bad way, kind of a funky sweetness. I'm going to read a couple reviews from other people that were on Fragrantica. From a review by someone named Cleo in 2023, sharp and pungent right off the bat, animalic notes always announce themselves very loudly on my skin, and this skunky Hyrax note is no different. It quiets down into a dirty, smoky, sweet amber with crumpled tobacco leaves, sticky resinous benzoin, prickly green celery, and ambrette seeds, and cedar and patchouli to fill in the gaps. As time goes on, it continues to lift into a lighter and sweeter honey amber. Then, someone named Light of Joy commented in July of 2022, I love so many of the notes listed here, I just don't get any of them on my skin. All I get is old piles of ash. No tobacco, just ash. Terrible. So we do have a divergence of opinion, shall we say, about what this smells like. And obviously, you know, everybody's skin is going to be different. It is what it is. Now, if you go on to Fragrantica and you check out the accords under the Montecristo from Masque Milano, you've got amber, musky, woody, and then it drops down to tobacco, sweet, floral, warm, spicy, balsamic, rum, and aromatic. That musk comes from the Hyrax poop. I mean, I don't know what else to say, how else to call it. The African stone, it's really very particular, and this is not for everybody. I mean, the sound of saying something is created from animal poop is going to be off-putting. I get that, but you know, there is a coffee bean that is pooped out by a civet cat in Sumatra that fetches lots of money. So, you know, there are certain kind of things that sound really off-putting, but they can be okay. This is a very particular fragrance, and you really, almost, I would say 90% of the reviews that I've read seem to be in favor of it. But it's a super masculine scent. It's just really funky. It's not really sweet at all to my nose. It's definitely more of a savory kind of a scent. But it's definitely got that animalistic sort of sweat kind of vibe to it. It's very interesting. I don't think I would buy a bottle of it. It doesn't come in large sizes, I don't believe. Let's see what the shopping is about on this. Now, this seems to be sold primarily in 50 ml bottles, and I believe the full retail price is $130, $140. You can get it for 60, 80, you know, under $100. But again, don't forget it's only 50 mLs. It's really very funky, and I would really suggest getting a decant. You know, at first I got this because I was going to classify it as a tobacco scent, and it kind of is, It does have tobacco in the notes, but it's far more of a so-called masculine scent, and I'm not even going to classify it as tobacco, leather, coffee, anything like that. It's just really strong, and that African stone, Hyrax, defecation, or whatever you want to call it, really potent. And I don't mind it. I kind of like it. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know if I would wear this in public, to be very honest with you. Your partner's got to be on board with this, otherwise you're going to have a problem for sure. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you took any value away from it, please smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you've not done so already. Leave comments down below if you've tried this scent or know anybody who has or have feelings one way or the other about it. In the meantime, please be kind to our fellow human beings, their pets, and other people's. Stay lifted, stay well groomed, stay smelling awesome, whether it's with animal poop or not. And we will catch you on the next video. Stay lifted, everybody. We love you. Cheers.